Hi everybody and welcome back to another vlog. This is going to be my 38 week plus vlog. Don't think this is going to be my labour vlog, but I'm feeling so odd today. I've been getting loads of twinges, loads of period pains, getting quite a lot of tightenings, and I'm just thinking, could this be the start of something? Just feeling odd. I keep going quite hot. I feel sick. Don't know, I'm just feeling very on edge. So I'm just sitting on my birthing ball. I've got a raspberry leaf tea. Just don't know, I'm not sure. I don't know if it's just because she's like moving lots and I'm getting lots of pressure, so it just feels like tightenings, and I just don't know. It could be Braxton Hicks. I hate this part where you're just like second guessing everything. You just don't know what's happening or what's going on with your body. Odd, isn't it? Really, really odd. 38 weeks tomorrow, and I've got my midwife appointment later on this week, so we will just see how we go. Good morning everybody. Been a couple of days since I last filmed. Clearly I did not go into labour. I was slightly convinced there for a bit of time that something was happening, but it just fizzled out. Did not turn into anything, but that's fine because, to be honest, Novalie then came down with a cold, so she's been not quite right. We then had a really, really bad night where she was waking like every half an hour to an hour. She ended up in bed with me. I then got no sleep. That was just, yeah, a little bit crazy. So she's still definitely got a cold and recovering from it. So hopefully she'll be all better by the time the baby comes. And fingers crossed I'm not going to get it either, but we'll see. Today I'm 38 weeks plus 2 days, and I've got my 38-week midwife appointment today. So I've got to go somewhere slightly different because it's with the home birth team now, because I've been switched over to them. I assumed all my appointments would then be at home, but they're not. I've got to go to a different place to where I usually go for my appointments, but that's fine. Also this morning we're up and ready because I have a doctor's appointment for my flu jab, which is definitely cutting it a bit fine, but my doctor's is quite useless to getting appointments, to basically wait this long to get an appointment for my flu jab, but that will be good. And then Novalie has got hers in a couple of weeks, again, because they're just, might be next week actually, because they're so busy. No signs of anything really, like she's still tucked up all in there. I was starting to feel a little bit disheartened because I was so convinced she was going to be early, and we obviously have this wedding in 2 weeks' time, and I'm just hoping that she's here by then, because I don't know, I feel I don't want to be pregnant at the wedding because I'll be worrying that she'll make an appearance and that would mean I'm overdue. Not that due dates are accurate at all. I just had it in my head she would be here because Novalie was a little bit early as well. But it's just one of those things you can't control, isn't it? It's just such a weird time because every night I go to sleep thinking, could this be the night? Is tonight the night? You're just on edge all the time, and like you're trying to plan stuff, but you don't know whether to plan stuff or not. You just don't know what's going to happen. But I guess that is all part of the fun. What have you got in there?
Strawberries. Okay, eat them.
Delicious. Is it a bit cold? They've been in the fridge. Went and had my flu vaccine today. That was fine, but my arm is a bit sore now, and I'm not like feeling great, so I don't know if maybe it's making me feel a bit rubbish, but like I said earlier, Novalie's not been very well anyway, so I could be getting that, I don't know. And I also had my midwife appointment earlier, which was fine. However, they checked baby's heartbeat. She was her heart rate was really, really fast. It could be a few different things. It could be if I'm not feeling great, if I've got a temperature. It could be a sign of infection. It could just be that she was having like a lively moment. So I had to go away and then come back a little bit later on, and then they checked her heart rate again and it was kind of back to normal. There was a part of it when it was a bit faster, but she was having like a little wriggle and move around at that point, so we were then reassured that everything's fine. She'd still like been continuing her normal movements, which is also something else they would ask. It was a little bit of a worry, but that was all fine. And then at the same time, she then measured me and I'm measuring big again. So I've basically been offered an extra scan, which we are gonna accept and go to. She said you don't have to plan if you want. So I think we are gonna do it just to kind of put our mind at ease and just kind of see from there. She said if you do end up measuring big though, the likelihood is that I would be offered an induction, which is kind of like deja vu, because around this sort of time of Novely I had to have an extra scan because of reduced movements, and they then offered me an induction, which I did refuse, and she then ended up coming like the next day or something naturally by herself. I've now got my scan through for Monday, it's now Thursday, so a few days until scan, but obviously it just depends like if baby is measuring big, what I want to do in that sense, whether I want an induction or not, or if I want to continue with a home birth or not, because obviously the risk of like her getting stuck is higher with her being bigger. We just don't know any of that information yet. The most annoying thing is that just none of it is very accurate. So even if we went and we were told she was measuring big, I could go with the induction, have this baby, and then she is just like normal size. It's just so unpredictable. I know what we're going to do. We'll just cross that bridge if we come to it. I'm hoping what's going to happen is I'm going to go to the scan, and the same as last time, because we had a growth scan a couple of weeks ago, they'll just say, nope, she's measuring absolutely fine. She's measuring £7 something. And I'll be like, oh, perfect. I'll just continue doing what I'm doing. It's a little bit of a stressful appointment because obviously I'd been told that she was potentially measuring big and her heart rate was increased, so it was like a little bit of worry in between the times, but then obviously going back and hearing that her heart rate had slowed down. As soon as I heard it, I knew it was going fast. I could just tell it was really quick, whereas the second time around it was a lot better. Position wise, she's in exactly the same position, but she said that she's really low, like she couldn't even really feel her head because it was that far into my pelvis, which I've definitely been feeling. I've been getting all the lightning crotch, all the pelvic pain, feeling really heavy and low. It just doesn't mean anything. Like, I feel like she's been like this now for a few days, a good few days, and still nothing. I think she's just keeping me on my toes. And then the next thing that they had told me is that tomorrow evening, so Friday evening, they haven't got enough staff to cover home birth in like during the night shift. So if I was to go into labour tomorrow evening or tomorrow night, then there would probably not be anyone to come out for the home birth. So it's all up in the air at the moment. It's just one of those things that you have to you have no control over, so you just got to go with the flow. And I know she will come when she's ready. So I'm just trying to like chill out and relax as much as possible. I'm not feeling great, to be quite honest. So I'm probably just gonna, well, finish tidying up the kitchen, because that's another thing, because I've potentially planning this home birth. I don't want my house to be a tip. I like my house to be tidy anyway, especially if I then end up going into labour. I don't want a messy house, so I'm trying to like keep on top of everything like that. I'm just going to tidy the kitchen. I'm going to chill out, watch the telly, and I'll probably get an early night like I do every single night. I don't think I'm awake past like 9 PM at all, ever. Gonna light some candles, chill out. I haven't actually been on my ball today, so I need to just do a few exercises on there. That's where we're up to on an update. I will obviously update if anything changes. If not, it will be Monday at our growth scan, so fingers crossed that all goes okay. I'm hoping it gives me more like reassurance and clarity than doubt and confusion, but we'll see. Just got to try and enjoy the weekend between now and then, chill out as much as possible, relax as much as possible, do like in things that I enjoy doing, spend some time with Tom and Novely, just make the most of this time before baby girl decides to make an appearance. Really bad like back cramps today, just like a continuous ache in the lower part of my back, and I've now come to bed and I'm getting some really crampy sensations like in my tummy, and I've just got a tummy ache. I've been feeling quite sick. I just feel really rough. I don't I don't really know what's going on, but I really hope this is not labour because they haven't got enough covers because of sickness. And obviously tonight is Friday night, so I'm really hoping that this isn't anything, because I really want to be able to have the option of a home birth, and if it's just like, no, you can't have it because we can't send anyone out, I'd be really annoyed. But it's one of those things I can't control. I've just got to go with it. I'm going to try and get some sleep because I'm just feeling awful. I've got a hot water bottle on my tummy. The previous labour, I didn't really get any tummy tightenings or anything. It was all in my back. Where I have been getting a lot of back pain this time, but I don't know if that means I will get the stomach stuff or not. I don't know. It might just be that I'm run down and tired, and try and get some sleep, and hopefully I'll wake up in the morning and baby will still be tucked in there. But so baby obviously did not. Baby did not come last night. Good morning. How are you this morning?
Got orange.
Orange. And what colour are your stripes?
Black.
Well done. I'm blue and my name's Bluey.
You got blue hands.
I have. Which is a good thing because obviously the
Hello.
home birth would not have been an option. But I was in not even just discomfort but pain all last night with just cramp. I've had constant backache, and now I've been getting like really bad period pain, dull ache, cramps. I was just so uncomfortable last night. I think I did get a couple of tightenings as well, but it just didn't turn into anything, which is a good thing if I want to be able to have this home birth, because I knew I would have been able to have it last night. But it's just so disheartening. Like, I just don't know what's going on with my body, and I just feel like crap the whole time. I just can't sleep either. Like, it just means I'm awake so much. And what time were you up this morning?
I'm just not going to sleep yet.
Yeah, you're just not going to sleep, are you?
No, I'm just not waking up.
You are waking up. You're waking up too early at 5:30 every morning. It's too early.
I'm waking up.
And that doesn't help either, because I'm then absolutely knackered. I feel so tired and run down, and I don't know if I'm now getting this cold as well. They just like keeping you on your toes, don't they? Please, sometime soon this baby will come out. Something today to make me feel better, I think, rather than just lounging around. I was feeling really sick yesterday as well.
Hello.
Hello. Just so emotional. Big muck heap. What are you doing? You're doing sweeping. Your bike might be there a while.
Where does that go? Yeah, does it go that way up or the other way up? Doesn't matter, does it?
Tom's heading out for the evening, but don't worry, he is on call. Like, he is very much aware that I might need to get hold of him. So I'm just gonna have a chill evening to myself. 8:10, but we had a power cut. So trying to get Novely down for bed, and just knowing like what we should do, because obviously with a power cut, home birth would be out of the option. I was then like worrying about the monitor for her and just everything, and I didn't then want Tom going out because our signal was really patchy. And I also thought, like, what if I can't get hold of anyone if I went into labour? But luckily, as you can see, power's now back on, thank goodness. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll stay that way. Tom's gone out. I'm gonna just have, so I haven't had any tea yet basically, so I'm now gonna have some pizza. I've just popped a pizza in the oven, but I'm only gonna have like a few slices because I know heartburn will come back and get me. So I'm just gonna have a couple of slices of that, chill out, watch some TV. I've done lots of bouncing on my board today. We've been for a walk. We went out for like a little lunch earlier, so we've had a really nice day. I also had a nap. I did want to have a bath, but I think it's gonna be too late by the time I've like eaten and everything. And I'm obviously just so conscious at the minute of how much hot water I'm using. Just gonna have a real chilled relaxed evening. Hopefully the power will stay on.
It's had for day. Got cars.
You've had a fun day, we've got to go now.
I'm going to shops.
See you
What do
later.
have?
So we went and had our growth scan today. A little bit of a confusing appointment. So basically, as you know, we were going in because measuring big. So midwife had measured her big, and we'd already been for a growth scan. I think it was around 36 weeks because I was measuring big by the midwife with like the tape measure. And then when we went in and had the scan, they said that she was like measuring fine, average, plotted fine on my graph. We went in to have the scan today, obviously with the measurement of her being slightly big. But then when they measured her with the scan, she was actually plotting like she was underweight in comparison to where she was from the previous growth scan. So she was measuring she's measuring £7.2, which like the actual weight itself isn't low, but by looking at it on my graph in comparison to my previous growth scan, it's like she hasn't gained enough and it's kind of like plateaued. So they were then worried, or it's now come to light that it might be that she's not gaining weight or growing correctly. So it was just very confusing because I went into that appointment thinking that I might be having a big baby and I might be offered an induction because baby's measuring big, but it turns out no, she's actually not measuring big by the scan. She's actually measuring small. Really like of a turnaround. Thing is, they can't, like, they're not 100% accurate, the scans, and obviously she's quite big now, like getting the measurements quite hard. I've only ever had 2 growth scans. This is only the second one, so we haven't really got enough information to compare it with. It's kind of a bit of a tricky situation basically to make any decisions. There isn't any like immediate concern basically. They checked all the placenta and everything seems to be working fine. The only thing is just that growth in comparison. So we basically went and then saw a consultant and had a little conversation with her, and she was basically saying like there's not an actual route we would recommend at this point. It's kind of, we'll give you options and you can decide. We're not saying what you should or shouldn't do. It's basically down to us. So they did offer me an induction just because of the growth, but her movements have all been fine. Like, she's still been very active. I haven't got any concerns in that sense. Put an induction if I want to take it. I've currently declined it at this moment in time just because we don't feel like she's in any like danger there. She's still moving. The growth scans are so inaccurate. It's kind of hard to really trust the growth scan, and just like from our gut experience, I don't feel like she needs to be coming out, and I don't think they did either, because if not they would have been recommended induction or a C-section or something like that, but they were just kind of like, it's not like a necessity. So yeah, we've opted for the minute not to go for induction, and we can, if we want to, if I change my mind, I can just phone up and book it in. I can change my mind in a few days time because I'm currently 38 plus 6 days, so I've got 8 days till my due date. And this time, my last pregnancy with Novely, I had her at 39 plus 1, and I was a very similar situation. Last time it's literally like deja vu because I was offered an induction last time because of reduced movement at this point and I declined it. And then literally a day or two later she came by herself. So, I mean, fingers crossed that's the case this time because then we don't have to worry. I sort of said, is there any like extra monitoring or stuff that they can do between now and then, like in the next week or so we can like look at her growth again? But they said that they don't look at growth again that quickly because there wouldn't be much of a change. So we'll just got to see how it goes basically. If I got to 40 plus 6, that is when they would definitely recommend an induction, but they kind of do with everybody. But what I did have done today was a membrane sweep. I didn't have one of these last time because I never got to the point of needing one. It was never offered to me last time actually, but she said like it could potentially help move things along. It's not like an actual induction method as such, but if like your body's heading that way and preparing for that, then it might just kind of give it a kick up the bum, G it up to get things going, kickstart things. So I did have the sweep. It was absolutely fine, slightly uncomfortable, wasn't painful at all. She did say that I was like 1 centimetre dilated already. My cervix was quite like, wasn't very long, and she managed to like quite a good sweep. So fingers crossed that might start something. We'll see, who knows if it's going to work or not. I asked her about the risks and she said there isn't really any risks. The only risk is that it might break your waters, but then you would be in labour and that's kind of what we're after anyway. So I thought I might as well, nothing to lose. It was more of me kind of wanting to know if my body was anywhere near labour, like, or if I'd just been imagining all of this stuff. But no, she did say like she wouldn't be surprised if it happened naturally before, you know, before I'm having to do anything else like induction or anything like that. So fingers crossed in the next few days it will do something and she'll just come by herself. She also said that like expressing some colostrum can sometimes help get things going, bounce on your ball, that kind of thing. So I'm going to try and do all of that today, just if I can naturally get things going, because that would be the ideal, that she just comes now in the next few days by herself, and then we won't really have to worry too much. But we will see, we will see. At the scan I had with Novely, and when they measured how big they thought she was going to be, she was measuring £6.14, and then when I had her a couple of days later, she was measuring she weighed 7.8. So they are quite inaccurate anyway. You can't 100% trust them. I haven't really had any like twinges or anything. I feel a bit period achy, but not really much change there. Sometimes they said that you can sometimes get a bit of a show afterwards. I haven't had anything yet, so we'll see. I'm not convinced it's going to do anything, but at least I've given it a go. Come on, baby girl. Hopefully if you try and make an appearance soon, I then don't have to worry about it. I feel like I need to do a little bit of an update. I'm currently 39 weeks plus 1, and by this time with Novely I had her around this sort of time. I think it's like now midday, and I had her by 1 p.m. But yeah, still no baby, but have had a little bit of an update. So last night, this is probably going to be a bit TMI, but if you're not into all this labour stuff, then maybe don't listen to this. But last night I was running the bath, and I just had a wee, and when I then like leant over to turn the taps off on the bath or something to get in, I then felt like a trickle down my legs. I wasn't sure whether that was my waters breaking. Very, very different sensation to my first labour. Like, I was already having contractions, and when my waters broke, it was during a really painful contraction, and I felt this, like, it wasn't really a pop, but maybe it was more of like a pressure release, and it was more of a white consistency, whereas this time round it was just like a little trickle down my leg clear. Whether that was my waters breaking or not, or trickling, or whether it was just loss of bladder control, I don't really know. So I'm very unclear with that, because I just had like no other sensation with that, so I'm not really sure what that was. But since then I have definitely been having like my show. My mucus bug has been definitely coming away, but again, really different to last time. Last time, this is like, I don't know how much to say, but last time it was like definitely it, and it was more of a reddy, like brown colour, whereas this time is just like continuous loss of mucus, but it's more of like a yellowy kind of colour. It's like sort of like phlegm. That's what's been happening last night and today. It's continued. I've just had to go to the toilet as well, so I'm hoping that this means something is starting and something's happening. But I've absolutely had no contractions yet. I felt a little bit crampy and just a little bit but no contractions. which is just so bizarre because last time I had all of this, but I had it with contractions, so I was like, right, yeah, this is definitely labour, whereas this time around that's not the case. So yeah, it's really keeping me on my toes. I honestly thought I would know this time, like when I was in labour, what's going on with my body, but I have absolutely no idea. My body preparing for labour, definitely, but whether it means it's going to happen in the next day or so, I don't know. I have got another sweep booked for Friday, so today's Wednesday. I've got another sweep booked for Friday, if nothing else has happened. My mum's got Novally currently, so I'm now just going to try and have a little rest. I've been doing some tidying and jobs and stuff this morning because I felt like I just wanted to do something. I don't want to just be sitting around waiting for contractions to start. I am going to have a rest now, and if I'm feeling okay, I'll meet up with them later on. I want to try and maybe go for a walk or something. To Tom this morning, I was like, I'm pretty sure this baby is going to be like this like the whole way through. And she's going to be like this when we're here, because like you think, well, you've had one before, you know, you kind of know what you're doing and you know what to expect, and you know like different tactics and what works and stuff, but I think she's going to come along and be like completely different to Novally. I bet this labour's going to be really different, and I'm just going to have to like wing it and learn again. We shall see. Woke up at 10:30. Contractions have definitely started. They are so close together, like every 5 minutes, lasting like 50 seconds. Tom's trying to set the pool up. I'm trying to breathe through them. The midwife is on her way. This is intense.